So this is 1995 to 1996, seventh grade. I want to say it's the year Brian Simeon, what we call him Taco, started going to Oak Park. But him and I clicked pretty well. Um, it was like the beginning of the school year. Then I remember like closer towards the winter. I remember Brian and I walking also back again um, to Cinema Six to watch Toy Story, and it was super cool. 'Cause I've never seen any like animation done that like advanced, you know. Bunch of little small memories. I remember like that this girl named Sarita Jubert, and actually I just seen her like 3 weeks ago at my friend's Dennis' daughter's graduation, and she was like, my mom got a 1998, and people are like, dude, it's like 95, 96. How don't worry, your mom got a 1998 car, and the kids just started making fun of her, whatever, like, whatever, and but the actual car was like an Oldsmobile, called Oldsmobile 1998. It wasn't the year of the car, so yeah, she was correct on that. I just remember that whole little argument going down. We had a teacher named Mr. Whiter for our music history class, and he was like passionate about getting us like the information, like from the books into a visual versus just seeing a whole bunch of words and pictures of these people. So he made us promise not to tell our parents, but he was bringing in movies like The Doors, which is like adult rated, but he had to show us like the real Jim Morrison, and like the Beatles. We watched Woodstock. I want to say it's '69 or whatever, and yeah, uh, he was just a passionate teacher, and one day I remember walking home from school, and that is one kid. I mean, it wasn't friends or anything, but I knew him as one of the kids that walk home from school. I want to say his name is Philip Woods, and he was probably about 40 feet in front of me, 20, 30, whatever. A good little distance in front of me, but I could still see him. And I seen like these bad looking kids, man. And they were driving their bikes, and they had like bats, and one sitting on the handlebar. You could just tell like these kids was like up to no good. They was coming from a school like all the way across the city called Raynord. And yeah, once they caught a hold of Philip and started jumping him, all I could do was like duck off to the back street. I mean, if I would have jumped aside there, it was like eight or nine of these guys, and I was just in the seventh grade, probably eighth grade, probably had high school age kids within that little group, and yeah, I sorry I couldn't say the guy. I was nowhere near this size to even try to even scare off people. Uh, I saw my barber was my cousin, Big Mo, Moses Gallion, and I was so impressed by this 70-gallon fish tank he had inside of his barber shop. He had these like huge albino Oscars. My little 10-gallon fish tank that I probably had at this time, it would probably took a half that tank to put that kind of fish inside there. And matter of fact, I only had my 1-gallon fish tank around this time. Yeah, it wouldn't even fit inside that bowl. Yeah, but I was fascinated about that. And he had the Rockwaller Debo, but I always kept inside my mind like how pretty a fish tank look inside of a room. That is one girl, of course, me, always crushing, uh, named Catherine Fontenot. And she used to walk home from school all day, but I was always so scared just to tell her how or whatnot. And then, yeah, I waited way too late. She started dating this guy named, his name, Gilbert Nelson. Yeah, that was the end of our relationship that I held inside of my head. Yeah, so now I just walk back home every day and just watch Power Rangers. Yeah. Um, I remember trying out for the football team, and I actually made it. And I went to practice my first day, but my head was too big, still huge, for the normal helmet. So they ended up giving me like an adult size helmet. And yeah, I go out on the field. And I remember it was raining like really hard. It was on the Oak Park Middle football field, and um, they told me to go run and hit the person with the ball. I guess I was on defense, and Anthony Johnson was running with the football, and all I remember was seeing a hand like come straight to my face, and then I looked up and I just seen the skies, and I seen lightning and rain, and then him running over me. Yeah, and that pretty much ended my whole football career. Yeah, probably could have been inside the NFL if I'd have just made that one tackle. But yeah, I went to their first football game. It was at SJ Walsh, but not not suited up. I just went there as a spectator on the sideline. That summer, my mother, we went so many places. We went to, can't even say them in order. Well, they'll probably be close to order, but we went to Philadelphia for sure, and we've seen some like historical places. I think probably like Independence Hall or something, something Benjamin Franklin. Yeah. Then we went to Arlington, Virginia, to see JFK's Eternal Flame, where he was buried at or whatnot. And then we went to um, Richmond, Virginia, where my aunt Cynthia and my uncle Don and their son Damon lives. And I just remember it was like this beautiful, huge house that looked like it was like a wooden cabinet. I want to say, but it was like they had a whole bunch of hills. It's a very pretty forest area, and in Virginia, as I remember. And I remember playing Shaq Fu with Damon, and Damon also had like this fat gerbil that he kept. Um, Went to the King's Dominion water park. I remember being too afraid to get on roller coasters, so I got on like the guess you'll say like roller coasters for kids or whatnot. I just hated the feeling inside of my stomach when I went on the roller coaster. Oh yeah, I remember they had on the TV they had closed caption. I was like mind boggling to me. So I was like, man, you can watch like a rap video and see the words at the bottom of the video. It was like, yeah, because our basic TV didn't have any type of closed caption. After that, we went visit New York, went to Manhattan, and I remember my mother bought us, went to this like hoagie shop, Subway, po' boy, whatever you want to call it, shop. I think they call it a hero there. And she bought me this like turkey and cheese sub hero type thing and some um, grape soda, sure. And we walked to the Empire State Building, and I remember just having this horrible headache. It's probably from the wind, from being on top of the Empire State Building. But I really enjoyed being like that high up, on top of the Empire State Building. Then we went to Washington D.C. I remember going to the Treasury for sure because it was like the first time I ever seen $1 million in cash. It was, as a matter of fact, it was $1 million cash all at once on top of a pallet. That was just impressive. Um, then after that, we went to Atlanta, where it was the summer of '96, so the Olympics was going on. We visited Dr. Martin Luther King's birth home. We visited what was it called? The World of Coca-Cola Museum, where you could they have like probably like 50 to 100 different types of Cokes. You could try each one of the type of Cokes or whatnot. I remember a lot of stuff being like underground. Um, on the way back, I remember we went to Pensacola, Florida, because it was probably my first time ever seeing like white sand, and the beach is beautiful. But like when I got inside the beach, I had no clue of the danger. Like so, when I walk inside, I'm just enjoying the water. Next thing you know, a jellyfish slides up against my arm. And I just remember being like really really puffy or whatnot, and we had to go to like a local shop, like a beach shop or whatnot, and they had like an ointment you could put on it that made it go down. But God, that stuff hurt. Uh, other random memories from that summer. We used to go to the bowling alley a lot this summer and play Virtual Fighters. And then because it was like my first real time ever seeing like a 3D fighting game. And the Sega Saturn came out this year. Uh, and when I bought the Sega Saturn this year, it came with Virtual Fighters, Daytona USA, and Virtual Cop. So you get like three games. And I also bought Tomb Raider. I remember Breaking and I used to play that a lot. Just love puzzle games and whatnot. And yeah, but I remember eventually getting bored with the Sega Saturn and wanting to return it. And I didn't have any receipt. And I bought it from the one in Lake Charles. And so I was like, man, I could trick the system. Maybe uh, I could go to the one in Beaumont, and they would give me a full because the one in Lake Charles is only giving me like store credit. And I was like, maybe if I go to Beaumont, I could trick them. So we jumped inside the car. My mom took Byron and I to the one in Beaumont. I remember being dark, like inside of there, and tried to return it. And she said the exact same policy. We could give you store credit. So I ended up keeping the Sega Saturn. It was a waste of gas for my mom, uh, driving all the way to Beaumont or whatever. Um, and yeah, that was pretty much the end of my summer.